Introducing the Snot Reel app, a magical portal to an elevated coffee experience. Say goodbye to waiting in line and say hello to the future of ordering food and coffee. With just a few taps, you can explore our extensive menu, customizing your order perfectly. The Snot Reel app. Download now and elevate your coffee game. Snot Reel. Taste the nectar of the bean gods. Hello there, welcome along. I'm Eric. Welcome to The Shed. In this video, we continue our exploration of Adobe Express and the updates to mid-2023. And in this video, one of my favorite things, it's part of Character Animator. It's called Animate to Audio, and it's all automated inside of Adobe Express. Now, I mentioned Character Animator. You may have seen a previous video of mine when I showed you how you could create an animation for free based on a voice recording. That has all been simplified here. So let's jump in and see how it's done. So here I am in Adobe Express, and it may look a little bit different to you as it does to me. As you can see there, I'm using the Adobe Express beta. Okay, there's a couple of ways that we can get to the animate from audio. The first is to go onto video on the bar here and then scroll down. And you can see that in my quick actions, it's actually the first one there for me. Or I can come up to the plus here, go to quick actions, and then down to animate from audio. And that's what I'm going to do here. Now what we get is a new work area. And in there, I've got a character on a background that's waiting for me to animate him or give him a voice at the very least. Now we can choose all different characters here. There's Sticky there, maybe Bill. We can even look as far as characters are concerned in categories. So human characters, maybe creatures, and food. Okay, I'm going to go back to all so we can see them all. And actually the one I want is the one that was there to start with, which is Mark. And I believe he's all the way down the bottom here. There he is. There we go. So there's our character. We know which one we want. We're going to be doing another video for Snot Reel, our coffee shop, and he fits quite well. Let's have a look at the background for him. So at the moment he's at a festival, but we could put him on a dock maybe, or on a summer season, or even in a coffee house. Coffee house looks good, but we can't see much. If we go to the size, you can see that I'm actually in Instagram story or Reels at the moment. But what I could do then is to change that to maybe something like YouTube. And we've got the 16:9 there, and we can see more of the background, or Snapchat, TikTok, or one of the others. I'm going to stick with Instagram, and I'm going to go back to Reels as well. Now, if I go back to background, you can see that I can upload an image, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to upload an image that I've got in my Snot Reel app folder here, and it's called Graphics and Counter JPEG. Now, I actually created this inside of Adobe Express by using the generative AI feature. More of that in another video. There should be a link somewhere around. Okay, you can see that I can move Mark around here, and I can scale him should I wish. There's not much I want to do to him. I'm quite happy with the way he looks just now. I might make him a little bit smaller because he's going to be waving his hands around and maybe fit him in with the counter a bit more. Okay, there's a couple more things we need to do before we can do the voice. First of all, come down the bottom here and enhance speech. By default, this is off. I highly recommend switching this on. Now, the reason for this is that, as the name might suggest, it's going to enhance the speech. Even if you're somewhere nice and quiet, this really does help. Now, I'm literally in a shed with a busy road outside, hence this microphone. And for me, this works wonders. Now, actually, for this example, I've gone ahead and I've pre-recorded the voiceover and put it through Adobe Podcast. And Adobe Podcast does very much the same thing here. It enhances the speech, gets rid of any background noise and that sort of thing. So I've already done all this, but you can automate it all here in Adobe Express. It's quite magical. Anyway, let's get back to it. So we could put the enhanced speech on and then we could record. However, like I say, I've already done my recording, which means that I can browse to one and I can go into my voiceover. And then I've got two here, the app WAV and the app enhanced WAV or WAVE. The enhanced one is the one that I've got from Adobe Podcast. So I'm going to use that one. Click open and there we go. And off it goes and does its stuff. Now this is going to take a couple of minutes, but that depends on your system, of course. And what this is going to do is it's going to match the recording with the figure. And by that, I mean this figure has some built-in actions. And again, if you saw my character animator video, you'll know all about Mark's actions. But he's got some like pointing and putting his glasses on and things like that. And he does this gesture as well. So all these things are going to be added in depending on my voice and what I'm saying and how it analyzes that audio. In Character Animator, we chose where to put it. Here, it's all being animated and put on for us. On the right-hand side of the screen there, you can see we've got some animations going on for us. Hang tight, just generating a preview. Some of these are funny. Some of them I find a bit confusing. But, it passes the time while you're waiting for these to generate. And like I say, this is doing it all automated for us. I've not cut out any time here. By the way, that's how long it took for real. Now, what it's going to do now is it's going to change that little screen on the right-hand side and tell us this uploading media. That was good timing. Uploading the media. And that's uploading to the Creative Cloud where Adobe Express stores all your files. That's being done automatically. We can also download here. We can download that to our hard drive if we wanted to use that locally. Now you can see that that button has now changed to Open in Editor, and we're going to do that in just a second. So we can preview here. We can press the play. Let's do that. Introducing the Snot Reel app, a magical portal to an elevated coffee experience. Say goodbye to waiting in line and say hello to the future of ordering food and coffee. With just a few taps, you can explore our extensive menu, customizing your order perfectly. The Snot Reel app. Download now and elevate your coffee game. Snot Reel. Taste the nectar of the bean gods. Okay, so there we are. It's animated it all for us. It's put in all the hand gestures. Lovely little point at the end. Okay, finally, down at the very bottom where you can see the representation of the timeline here, you can see that this is one of the only times that we can see the waveform for the audio. And you can see that I've got a little bit of time at the end, which means I can edit that. I can clip that right in just so it comes to the end when I stop speaking, or when Mark stops speaking, I should say. Let's just make sure that that's where we want it to be. Now, and elevate your coffee cane. Snot Reel. Taste the nectar of the bean gods. Okay, good. All right, and I'm going to click Open in Editor, and here it comes. Good stuff. Now, if all you wanted to do was to create this animation and take it elsewhere, maybe into Premiere or After Effects or something else, then you could have downloaded it there before coming into the editor. I'm going to be adding some more. If that is you done, that's all you wanted to know, thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, all the rest, and don't forget to share your work with me that you're doing with Adobe Express. I really am genuinely interested in what you're doing. For the rest of us, I'm going to add some more bits and bobs to this, finish it off, make it into an actual reel. Okay, let's jump back in and see how we get on. There's a couple of bits here that I want to make you aware of before we go any further. First of all, you can see down the bottom, we've got our timeline again without the audio waveform. And then next to that, add scene, which means that we can make this a multiple scene reel should we wish. I'm not going to do that here, but it's quite easy to do. And when you do something like that, you can actually have characters talking to each other and stuff like that. But we're not going to dive that deep here. Down the bottom right-hand corner, we can make the timeline bigger or smaller. And quite handily, there is a little fit button there, which makes it fit on screen. The next button, very well hidden, but very important, is this one here, Show Layer Timing. This is, again, off by default. That is the first thing I do, is to switch that on. Now, what this does is whatever's highlighted on the, let's call it an artboard for now, whatever is highlighted there, you'll get a representation of its timing above the playhead there. So quite helpful to have. We'll see more of that in just a second. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to add some text, maybe to say that here's the Snot Reel app. So let's add our text, Snot Reel app, exclamation mark. Let's make that white, just like that. And let's put it into the text that we've been using all the way through this, which is something called alphan. Let's try that again. Alphan. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to click my magic button, my favorite button in all of Adobe Express, the dynamic button, and then let's resize that, something along those lines. Oh, let's spell Snot Reel correctly. There we go. And I'm going to bring that down just about there. Now you might have noticed that when I went onto text, we could have actually had text effects here. Again, that's another video. Feel free to have a look at that about generative AI. Talking of which, let's add another bit of media. This time I'm going to put text to image, and what I want here in a square is a mobile phone with a coffee cup on it. As art is probably going to be okay. Let's generate that and see what we get. I'm going to get 4 representations. Again, you can see a video on generative AI inside Adobe Express on my YouTube channel. Okay, that one looks about what we want. I'm going to click that one just for time's sake. You see it gets added to our reel there. I'm going to come back up. Let's click out of that and then say remove background. And hopefully we're going to be left with just the mobile phone, which I can then rotate a little bit. Pop it to place down here. Okay, good. Now you'll notice as I'm selecting the mobile app and the mobile phone here, this is changing down the bottom here so we can see our layer timings. So let's see where we want these to come on. Introducing the Snot Reel app. There we go, just there. So I'm going to shorten this down to there, and I'm going to animate it on just like this, maybe a slide. And then while it's on, I'm going to want it to wiggle just a little bit. There we go. And then for the Snot Reel app words, again, I'd like to animate this. And in this case, let's make it come up somehow. Let's drift it in. There we go. But I want it to come up. There we go. And again, at this point, let's see how we got on. Introducing the Snot Reel app, a magical portal to an elevated coffee experience. Okay, it's not wiggling quite as much as I would like, but I can always change that if I come back into animation and change the wiggle intensity and the speed and all that kind of stuff. That's not what this video is about, so I'm going to leave it for now. And let's go down to the end where Mark says, taste the nectar of the bean gods, which is our phrase. So let's have a look. Snot Reel. Okay, it's about to say it now. So I want these two to be out the way, just like that. Ding, ding, ding. Lovely. And then I'm going to come over to my stuff. Let's take one of these. So you can see I've got 3 representations of Taste the Nectar of the Bean Gods. And each one is going to be slightly different from the others, but that's just held in my libraries. Let's make them nice and big. Just like that. At the moment, they are overlapping. But that's okay. I'm going to bring that right down. I don't want it to start just yet. I want it to start just after they've gone, which is just there. There we go. And let's bring that up. Okay. And let's bring that up nice and slowly. So we'll bring it in. We want it to drift, I think, up. There we go. Good. All right. Now you'll notice then that as I was dropping pieces on, it was dropping it on where the playhead is. And that's going to be very important next, because what I want to do is add in some music. So I'm going to take the playhead right back to the beginning because it's going to start it there. So let's take the playhead right back. And then I'm going to go and open my folders, and I've got sounds and music. There's my music. And I can just drop that on, and you can see that it's dropped the music on nicely for me. Now, I know from experience this is going to be very loud, so I'm going to reduce the volume before we even get going to maybe 3 or 4%. There we go. Let's try that. Introducing the Snot Reel app, a magical portal. Okay, looking good. I am going to cut it short though, just a little bit, because at the end there, I want to put another piece of audio. Let's drop that right down. Okay, so I'm going to bring this playhead right up to where Taste the Nectar of the Bean God starts to come in, which means I can now take that to there and then bring this down. A little bit fiddly, but we're getting there. Now this is how it starts now. Introducing the Snot. Not too worried about that. That sounds okay. But I'm going to bring the playhead right down to the end because now I want to go back and get my holy angelic choir and drop that on. And you can see it's dropped it in exactly where the playhead was. So now, as he says, taste the nectar of the bean gods. I really do need to reduce the volume of that right down. Not quite so much this time. Do want it a little bit louder. Here we go. Came. Snot Reel. Taste the nectar of the bean gods. Nice. So there we go. Let's play that right through, see what we've got. Introducing the Snot Reel app, a magical portal to an elevated coffee experience. Say goodbye to waiting in line and say hello to the future of ordering food and coffee. With just a few taps, you can explore our extensive menu, customizing your order perfectly. The Snot Reel app. Download now and elevate your coffee game. Snot Reel. Taste the nectar of the bean gods. So there we go. I can download that now. I just click on download. MPEG 4, best for video. That's what we want. We can download it as other things. Not really appropriate here, but for video it's fine. We can choose the resolution. Again, 1080 is perfect. And download it to wherever I want to keep it. And then upload it to my social media network. So there we go. As easy as that. A 30-second reel for Snot Reel and their app that we can upload directly into one of our social media networks, such as Instagram or TikTok or wherever you may want it. There we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And don't forget to check out the other videos about Adobe Express that are in this playlist. My name's Eric. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.